What is up, future millionaires? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Ellie Talks Money. So in today's video, we are going over the 5 worst businesses to start. So I'm always telling y'all, I'm giving y'all a game on what you should do. Now I want to also make sure I go into mommy mode and give y'all a game on what you should not do, okay? I want to set you guys up for success, and there are definitely some businesses, especially given where we are right now in 2022, that you want to stay away from, all right? So grab your notebook, grab your pen, and let's get into these gems. Ow.
Ellie talks money to create the better days. Business, money, life, the Ellie way.
All right, y'all, welcome back into the video. So we are going over 5 of the worst businesses you can start right now, okay? And I don't want y'all to touch these because it will be stressful. You will not experience the profit you want to achieve. And these are generally just not the best businesses, especially considering where the world is going and the fact that we are in this recession. So first business that I do not recommend you start, and this is going to shock some of you, but here in the US, do not consider starting your own restaurant, okay? Right now is not the best time for it because of the fact that, number one, there are so many restaurants. Number two, the best option if you do want to have some sort of food business, maybe you're a chef, maybe you love to cook, catering and direct delivery are a better option than sit-down restaurants. And let me break this down. At a sit-down restaurant, you're going to pay a lease, you're going to pay high amounts of insurance, you're going to have electricity bills, water bills, probably parking bills, so many different high, and employee bills, right? So many different high costs that it's going to take a lot more money to get that started. An alternative is to use something like a ghost kitchen. So ghost kitchens are becoming increasingly popular because you can literally rent them out for a set amount of hours per week, make all your meals, and then have a delivery service business. Something even related to that, that's a great option, is a food truck, right? It's mobile. You don't have to pay for a sit-down space. Everything is on your truck. So I would recommend not getting into restaurants, not opening any type of location like that, just to avoid costs right now and stick yourself into a lease that is 3 or 4 years and you don't even know what is going to happen in 3 or 4 years, okay? All right, so we're not gonna do it. Stay away. All right, so the second worst business that I would recommend is to open up a physical store to sell clothing, okay? Now, I love clothes. I buy clothes all the time. However, you are going to experience much more success having an online e-commerce store than a retail physical walk-in store, especially if you are a new and upcoming brand. Let's face it, we know that Zara, H&M, Forever 21, Express, etc. are always going to be successful because they've already got the name. They're in retail locations all over. That's different. But for you as a new and upcoming business owner, you need to do everything e-commerce. E-commerce is growing 100% year over year over year. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and you don't have any of the costs of a brick and mortar location. Rarely and less cost for actual employees, no insurance, no lights, no electricity. So you want to avoid those costs. The best thing you can do is build up a brand name online where a lot of people know you and are familiar with you and love your business, love your brand, and then open up a physical location because you've already got the brand power, you've already got the name, you've already got people who love you and love your brand. That would be the best way versus starting with the physical location and then trying to build up that popularity. It limits you to where you are and it makes your costs a lot higher at the beginning, okay? Now, the third worst business is probably going to surprise you all, and that is to actually open up a travel agency. Okay, travel agencies were extremely popular back in the day, and I just mean maybe 10 to 15 years ago. But now with people having access to so many discounted flight apps, it's a little bit of a challenge to promote that type of agency because now even certain credit cards like American Express, Capital One, Delta offer concierge search services that can book your flight, book your hotel, book your entire vacation package for you. One thing that you can do is, if you are in the travel business, I know that a lot of travel agencies or those who work at travel agencies get great discounts. You can market yourself as, an individual travel coordinator where you can assist people in getting the best flights and services, or better yet, service small businesses or entrepreneurs who want to create conferences for their community and their audience, and assist them with the coordination of that. So travel coordinating perhaps is a different pivot, but opening up a traditional agency, getting clients, that's not where we want to use our time. We want to look at how do we take the concept of travel, as people do love to travel, and combine it with other things like events management, coordination, marketing, and etc. These are going to be things that more businesses are needing, as well as other individuals who are wanting to travel and do things with friends or family. All right, y'all. So the fourth worst business to start that I would tell you to stay away from would definitely be like a taxi service, limo service. And the reason why I'm mentioning this to you is because Uber is everywhere, Lyft is everywhere. Having a black car service business can work as long as you really heavily market to your local area. So like sometimes when I get picked up from the airport, if you've ever been to LAX, you got to go all the way to this, girl, I don't know, all the way down the way in order to get a lift. I don't want to do that. So I will instead book a car that'll come and pick you up directly from your door at the airport. It's more expensive, but it's more convenient. So that can be an option. But where I would recommend you pivot is if you do want to be in transport, instead of looking at starting a taxi or limo business, instead look at how can you do medical transport and non-emergency medical transport. So a lot of the time we don't think about that. People always are going to need to go to their doctor's appointments, to the hospital. Some people don't have access to a car, or maybe in a situation where they have no car. And elderly people typically aren't driving and they need to get around, they need to go to their appointments, and etc. So that is a business that is always going to be in demand, and as well, that is a business you can get government contracts for. You feel me? And that is guaranteed money. So instead of looking at a taxi, limo, regular business, instead I would look at how can you get into non-emergency medical transport. The fifth worst business that I definitely want you to stay away from would be getting into anything like a grocery store or a gift shop. Listen, Amazon is not going away. Delivery to your door is not going away. Instacart, not going away. So you want to make sure that instead of you being in direct competition with some of the largest companies, don't dive into gift stores, grocery stores, any kind of like even a vintage store. Instead, make sure everything is online, right? So what you can do instead is, of course, instead of thinking about opening up like a knickknack shop, have your knickknacks, but just do it e-commerce style, right? How can you make it more accessible to people all over versus anything that is local? And I would also recommend that you look at selling more of what is in demand versus what is just kind of, an option to people, because as we get into this recession, people may not have the money to just buy, vintage things that they like or knickknacks that they like. They're going to have to spend their money on absolute necessities. So I would recommend, if you are into that vintage gift shop life, it can be okay if you do it online, but do it when things start to improve in our economy, or make sure that you are targeting people that have disposable income, okay? And you can do that through your social media marketing as well as ads targeting. So comment down below which of these businesses were you thinking about and now you're like, dang, I'm not gonna do it. Or if I should make a part 2 on this, on 5 more of the worst businesses to stay away from, not even just this year, but overall, all right? I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.